she snapped. It was just too much for an 18-year-old girl to go through.
Down. If you don't think there's a hard thing in life, I had to do CPR on my own son, knowing that in my heart that he wasn't with us anymore. But I did it anyway. To go from there, it's just numbness. It's pain. It's disbelief.
She was, you know, our baby, and, you know, we absolutely miss every single second of her.
And Tina ran and got a knife so I could cut the belt from around her neck and then started performing CPR.
She had tears the entire time running down the side of her face until she passed away.
Just like, please. Please, Megan.
Bad enough to lose a child as a parent, but to lose a child to suicide is the most devastating I can think of.
Eric was told by the bully, one of the bullies, Eric, why don't you go home and shoot yourself? It's not like anybody would care.
That afternoon in his bedroom, Eric used his father's gun to take his own life.
How do you live with yourself knowing that you did not protect your child?
From the fire station saying, Brenda, you need to go home. I said, is it Jared? And she said, yes, your husband's at home and he needs you at home now. I came in and all these police officers were lined up down my hall, and they all had these somber looks, and Bill was sitting at the table in a chair. And as I get halfway down the hall, he said, Brenda, Jared's dead. He shot himself. I couldn't believe it. I fell to the ground and I just started crying on Bill's lap. I never thought in my wildest dreams it would be in the ability of a boy who just turned 13 and had everything to live for. I never would have thought he'd ever. I can imagine a kid would do something like that. I would never have left if I had any idea that he would have done such a thing.
He was quiet. He was shy.
Nancy Wall says behind her son Scott's smile and under his favorite Cubs hat was a boy who endured the pain of constant bullying at school.
9 years of being bullied, being ridiculed and humiliated and beaten up and choked to the point of passing out.
She says it started in middle school and persisted.
He, in the end, truly believed that he was everything that everybody said and did to him.
She thought karate might help, but Scott, who was a black belt, refused to fight back. Then, on March 4th, Scott Walls went to his room and took his own life.
My husband went up there, and he said he's dead. Call 911.
A letter he left stated he was in so much pain that it never goes away, and he was called a freak and ugly.
You believe that your son would be alive today if someone would have stopped the bullying?
Absolutely.
It was obvious that
Boy, he was a hugger.
Right. You know, if there's one word that people use the most to describe Ryan was just gentle.
But his son Ryan also had learning and motor disabilities, one that made him a little more awkward than the other kids. His schoolmates jumped in.
They said it was like a feeding frenzy. It was like almost everybody in the school was kind of piling on him, calling him all sorts of names like that. I know he just kept it inside.
No surprise Ryan was having trouble at school and worried to his dad that his report card would be bad.
I mean, he just went on about, you know, you're going to be so disappointed, Dad. I'm just a loser. I'll never amount to anything. And I thought at that point in time, I just needed to give him the pep talk of his life.
So John Holligan sat his son down and told him he'd help him through this.
He said, Dad, have you ever thought of killing yourself? And I said, yeah, I remember going into my bedroom and just burying my head underneath the pillow and wanting my life to end. And I said, you know, Ryan, imagine if I did actually do that, you know. Look at all the things we would have missed out on as a family.
When you look back now and see the actual words, how do you keep yourself from just being a fist of anger?
All I want is to be with Ryan again someday. And I know if I go down that path of holding that fist of anger and doing something I probably would regret for the rest of my life, I'm worried I'd jeopardize that opportunity to be with Ryan again.
And someday, what will you say to Ryan?
I love you. Boy, did I miss you.